Most people try to stay out of jail. That makes sense. But here at Sunny Meadows County Jail, things are a little different. In fact, some guys get out and then try to get back in. I'm not even kidding. Last week, a guy named Dave was released. He walked out the front door, looked both ways, and then threw a rock at the warden's car. He said he missed the Tuesday Tater Tot Bar. It's that good. You get all the toppings you want, like cheese and bacon bits. It's hard to find that kind of quality on the outside. So yeah, this place is less like a jail and more like a summer camp you never have to leave. I think the main reason people like it here is because it's not scary at all. When you think of jail, you probably think of big, mean guys and clanging metal doors. Here, the scariest thing is when they run out of chocolate milk in the cafeteria. The doors don't even clang. They sort of squeak, like a mouse that needs some oil. We have a TV room with a really comfortable couch. It's so comfortable that inmates actually argue over who gets to sit on the lumpy part. It's a weird place. Yesterday, we had a talent show and one guy juggled 3 oranges. He wasn't very good, but everyone clapped anyway. The food is another big reason people don't mind being here. On Mondays, we have Mystery Meatloaf Monday, which sounds bad, but it's actually pretty tasty. It's like a fun game trying to guess what's in it. We also have movie nights on Fridays. We all vote on what to watch. Last week, we watched a movie about puppies who learn to talk. Some of the toughest looking guys in here were crying. It was really funny. It's hard to feel like you're in a real jail when you're watching a movie and eating popcorn next to a guy named Spike, who is sobbing about a golden retriever. So if you're looking for a place with free food, fun activities, and a bunch of new friends, Sunny Meadows might be for you. Just don't tell too many people or it might get crowded. The beds aren't 5-star hotel quality, but they're not bad. Plus, you never have to worry about what to wear because we all have the same orange jumpsuit. It makes getting dressed in the morning super simple. I heard some guys even try to trade jumpsuits to get the one that's perfectly worn in. I don't really get it, but that's just how things are around here. It's the kind of place where you can really relax. The corrections officers here are not what you'd expect. They are supposed to be in charge, but mostly they just try to stay out of the way. I think they're a little scared of us, which is hilarious because we're not scary at all. The guards, Officers Miller and Johnson, spend most of their day trying to flirt with the nurse, Carol. Miller will bring her a cup of lukewarm coffee, and then Johnson will try to one-up him by bringing her a donut from the staff room. Carol just rolls her eyes and tells them to go do their jobs. They usually just shrug and go back to leaning against a wall. They are supposed to do cell checks, but they don't really check anything. Officer Miller just walks by and asks, "Everyone good in there?" We all yell, "Yeah," and he just keeps walking. One time, a guy named Leo built a fort out of his blankets and mattress. It was a really impressive fort. It had a little flag made out of a sock. Officer Johnson just peeked in, said, "Cool fort, Leo," and walked away. He didn't even tell him to take it down, so now a bunch of guys have blanket forts in their cells. It looks more like a sleepover than a jail block. The guards also get into these weird arguments with each other. Yesterday, they spent 20 minutes debating whether a hot dog is a sandwich. It got pretty heated. Officer Miller was yelling, "It's meat between bread," and Officer Johnson was yelling back, "The bread is connected on one side." All the inmates just stood around watching them. It was better than television. We even started taking sides. I was on team not a sandwich. We lost the argument, but it was still a fun way to pass the morning. They get so distracted that they forget to lock half the doors. I think the guards know they're not in control and they're okay with it. It's less paperwork for them. As long as nobody's actually trying to escape, they just let us do our thing. They mostly just want to get through their shift without any trouble. Sometimes they will ask us for advice. Officer Johnson asked me if he should get a new haircut. I told him he should definitely get a mohawk. He actually thought about it for a minute. That's the kind of relationship we have with our guards. They're less like authority figures and more like awkward older brothers who are afraid to tell you what to do. If you think the guards are funny, you should meet the warden. His name is Warden Smith, but he tells everyone to call him Smitty. He's a short, round guy who is always smiling. He thinks we, the inmates, are the greatest people on earth. He is always saying things like, "You fellas have so much character." He says we're more interesting than his officers, who he calls a bunch of bores. He's not wrong about that. The warden loves to walk through the cell blocks and chat with us. He knows everyone's name and story. He even remembers our birthdays. The warden is totally clueless about what really goes on here. He thinks all the yelling and shouting is just passionate conversation. He once walked in on 2 guys arguing over who got the last pudding cup. They were screaming at each other. The warden just clapped his hands together and said, "I love the energy in this room. Keep it up, boys." Then he walked away, humming a happy tune. He honestly believes we are all just a big happy family having lively debates. He doesn't see it as a problem, he sees it as a sign of a healthy community. Warden Smith also likes to get our opinion on how to run the jail. He has a suggestion box and he actually reads what we put in it. Last month, a guy named Frank wrote we should have Taco Tuesday, and guess what? Now we have Taco Tuesday. It's the best day of the week. The warden even wears a big sombrero while he serves the tacos. He thinks he's improving our morale, which he is, but he doesn't realize he's turning a correctional facility into a resort. He's just a friendly guy who wants everyone to be happy. My favorite warden story is from the annual picnic. He set up a volleyball game, inmates versus guards. The warden decided to play on our team. He was a terrible player, but he was having the time of his life. At one point, he tripped over his own feet and fell flat on his face. Everyone, including the guards, started laughing. He just lay there on the grass, laughing too. He's not like any warden you see in the movies. He's just a goofy guy who thinks he's the camp counselor for a bunch of misunderstood adults. And in a way, he's kind of right. One of the strangest things about Sunny Meadows is that you can get into a fight and not get in trouble. I'm not talking about serious fights. It's more like a bunch of brothers wrestling in the living room. Guys will argue over the remote control for the TV, and it will turn into a big shouting match. Sometimes a little pushing is involved. The guards see it, but they just pretend they don't. As long as no one is actually getting hurt, they just let it happen. I think they're too scared to break it up. So the arguments just fizzle out on their own. For example, there are two guys, Stan and Gus, who are always arguing. They argue about everything. They argue about sports. They argue about the weather. They argue about which cartoon character is the strongest. Yesterday, they got into a huge fight over a bag of chips. Stan said Gus took too many. Gus said Stan was counting his chips. They were yelling so loud that everyone stopped to watch. Officer Miller was standing right there, watching with us. He was eating a bag of popcorn. He just shook his head and said, "Those two, they're like an old married couple. The best fights are the food fights. They don't happen often, but when they do, it's epic. It usually starts with one person throwing a pea, then someone else throws a piece of bread. Before you know it, mashed potatoes are flying through the air. The guards just duck behind the counter until it's over. The warden thinks it's a form of self-expression. He once said it was better than us keeping our feelings bottled up inside. I'm pretty sure that's not what psychologists mean by self-expression, but who are we to argue with him? It gets us out of cleaning duty. So life here is pretty weird. It's a jail where the guards are afraid, the warden is your buddy, and arguments are the main form of entertainment. It's not like real life, and it's definitely not like a real prison. It's like we're all stuck in some strange, goofy summer camp that we can't leave. But to be honest, most of us don't really want to. Where else can you get into a mashed potato fight and have the warden tell you he's proud of you for expressing your feelings? Only at Sunny Meadows County Jail. It's a one-of-a-kind place.